Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. Before I start, I want to apologize that I wasn't able to do a live video today, due to my schedule and some other ongoing issues. But here's a video for you today, so please forgive me. Today I want to touch on a subject that I've been receiving questions about. Now, this subject is about the Muslims in the federal penitentiary. If you've asked anybody that's been in the USP, they're not going to have anything good to say about this Muslim. But before I get started, I want to differentiate between them and the Nation of Islam and other fractions that are of Islamic faith. These Muslims in particular that I'm talking about are, the Sunnis. They got the Sunnis and the Shiites, but mostly in the penitentiary, they claim to follow whatever the Sunnis follow. The difference between them two is, when the Prophet Muhammad died, half of them went with his brother and half of them went with his son. And so there was a rift and a split between the religion. But basically, they're all the same. Now, I had somebody comment that there's no loophole in the Quran. You're absolutely right. There is no loophole in the Quran. But these foul dudes that come into the penitentiary has taken upon themselves to use this passage in the Quran as a gateway to enter the religion and hide out. Now, where in the Quran it says, if you were ignorant, if you were blind and you didn't know better, and now you have discovered the true faith in Allah, and you come into the faith, then Allah will forgive you for your past sins. He's not talking about if you're a child molester. He's not talking about if you're a rapist. He's not talking about if you're a rat. Somebody on one of the other YouTube channel, The Daily Build or whatever, I don't know this individual, and it's not a disparage on his character or anything, but he made a comment that one of his homies called in from the federal prison that was Muslim, and he asked him, hey, why is all these people out here that's been in the federal prison talking so bad about the Muslim religion, talking about how they harbor rats and harbor snitches and child molesters and rapists and all that stuff. And his homie said, now I don't know if his homie actually said this to him, but he was saying that his homie told him that, man, we don't follow this prison politic. We're over here on a higher calling. Now, to all the true believers, much respect and all love, because Islam is a very demanding religion. You pray 5 times a day. That's minimum. When you're really practicing that, you're praying all hours of the night, all hours a day. It's a very demanding religion. And it takes a true believer to follow the faith. I have true believers as friends. One of my friends is this guy right here. You can see him. Kojo. He wasn't only my friend, but he was my cellie when I was in Victorville. I met him when I first went to Lompoc. In a way, he kind of raised me. He taught me what it was like to be on man time, to conduct yourself with integrity, to be respectful. You shake somebody's hand, that's what it is. Him and others like him, of other religions, of other gangs, of other affiliates that were older than me, took me under their wings because it took a liking to me. And by no means is this man, the thing, I don't know the word to say, but if he's listening, he's in Canaan right now. He's serving a 55-year sentence. He's a state prisoner. He's a prisoner of war. He became Muslim. He grew up during the Malcolm X era, during the Martin Luther King era. And I have high regards for this individual. But even him and I have had discussions in our cells when we were cellies about these rats and these child molesters and all these other people around him. And he told me he turned his life to Allah. And therefore, when they follow the Quran and the religion that these people have converted, so they're their brothers now, and they really can't do anything to him. But to these individuals, they're running under that umbrella, run under that religion and try to hide. They're not true believers. They're just trying to make it, fake it till they make it. I've been there. I've been around them. Yeah, they go to Juma on Friday. They do their salat 5 times a day. But they're sneaking over here, fucking with little boys. Hey, if you know anything about the Muslim religion, they don't really look kindly on homosexuality. They're over here doing dope. They're over here doing everything except what they're supposed to be doing, but behind closed doors. So their brothers won't see them and politic on them or whatnot. And it's disheartening because I have so many friends that are of the Muslim faith in prison. And we have these conversations with each other all the time. And every single time, they just shake their head because they're true believers. They're following the faith to the letter of the Quran. And they feel some type of way about these lame-ass dudes hiding under their umbrella. Now, prime example. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's not these busters' fault. These busters' instinct is to survive. So when they come into the penitentiary and they know they're foul, and the warden is telling you, if you want to make it, you better become a Muslim. What the fuck you think they're going to do? So the fault is not them because, again, their natural instinct is to survive. So they're going to go wherever they can go to be protected and to survive. Where I place the fault is these gang members that letting their homies default. Now, when I mean default, I mean dude's a buster and he should get chopped up. But now that he's under this umbrella, they washing their hands of him. Because I know ex-gang members that became Muslim. I have a good friend named Pup. He's from Arizona, from a Crip gang out of Arizona. I was just in Florence with him. He got 2 life sentences. Did 20 years in the feds in the Arizona state, came and picked him up in 2020 and took him back to Arizona for 2 life sentences. We was in the same block in DA over there in Florence, Colorado. And he was a true believer. He said he was tired of this stuff, but he did it the right way. He went to his homeboys, his Crip homeboys, and asked for their blessings. And they didn't deny him because they know he's a straight up dude. They know he's a man. And they know he handled his business, and his character and his record is clean. And they let him go with their blessings. But there's only very few of them are like that. So I'm going to give you a story. I'm jumping a little ahead in my time in Atwater because I was trying to give it to you in chronological order. But since we're discussing this topic, I'm going to tell you about an incident in Atwater that happened while I was there in my block. They had this big-ass Native American come in on the compound. He comes off the bus. The homies hit him up. Hey, what's up, man? Are you a bro? He said, nah, I'm Muslim. Of course, red flags and antennas perk up. Because the only time a Native American is going to say he's a Muslim is because he's hiding from something. So come to find out, there was a couple bros that was from his res and seen his bitch ass in the newspaper, and he was a child molester. But right now he's riding under the Muslim car. But the Native Americans, one thing you got to understand about them, they don't give a fuck. If you're a Native American and you're foul, you're a child molester, you're a rat, you're a rapist, it don't matter what car you trying to run into, trying to hide under, they coming to get you. So the homie, Lil Hawk, had the yard for the natives. In my unit, there's a native homie named Chris, and MJ. His real name is really Michael Jordan. He's a native out of Seattle. So Chris come and tells me, he said, hey, Little Hawk is put a hit on the Muslim dude, on the native dude in our block that's claiming Muslim. He goes, we found out on the res that he's a child molester and we're gonna hit him. So they come and ask me to go speak to the Muslim. They say, hey, can you go speak to the Muslim? Let him know not to get involved. So me and Bryson in our block, they just come in and they're telling us the hit is happening. I don't have no say. I don't insert myself in the native politics. My duty, my responsibility, my obligation per the alliance that we have with them is to aid and assist. So when they come and tell me, I aid and assist. They say, please talk to the Muslim and let him know that we're going to hit this dude and not to get involved. I said, bet. So me and Bryson go upstairs. We're in 2A. We go upstairs and there's two Muslim dudes. One is an ex-blood, or he call himself No Good. And I'll tell you a story about him, and then it's just going to give you a better idea what the Muslim car in the penitentiary reputation is and is about. Again, let me emphasize, I mean no disrespect to any of the true believers, you know. But to the rest of you, the buses that's hiding under this umbrella, fuck you and everything about you. So we go up, there's a dude named Abdullah and No Good. No Good's a blood, but he wears two hats. He try to be a blood and try to be a Muslim. And then Abdullah is his celly. But I have a little rapport with No Good. Cause he kind of, like I said, I'll share you that story later. But anyway, me and Bryson goes up into their cell and say, hey, can I holler at you guys? I say, check this out, homie. That Native American that you guys got that's trying to claim he's Muslim, he's a child molester. And the native's gonna hit him. What? How are you gonna hit? You can't do that to one of our bros. You can't just make a hit on one of our... I say, hey, I'm not making a hit on nobody. I'm just coming up here to let you know, we function with the natives and we aid and assist. They're gonna hit that dude. And if you guys get involved, we're gonna get involved. Oh, but you can't just accuse one of our brothers of this and that without no paperwork. I said, what? I said, paperwork? I gave you paperwork on one of your Muslim brother just 3 months ago. They had this dude out of New York. His shit is in the computer. And he's a real Muslim. Like an Arabic, Arab, whatever, out of New York. The paperwork on this dude, he was debriefed by NYPD, by Connecticut PD, and immigration. And debriefed and gave up everything and whatever was going on in the case. I had that paperwork physically in my hand and gave it to these dudes. You know what they did? They just moved them out of my unit and across to the other side. Anyway, so I was like, you just moved the dude I just gave paperwork to on the other yard. You didn't do your fucking thing about it. So what are you talking about, paperwork? I say, I'm just letting you, it's like, well, we ain't got no say about what. I say, listen, man, it's not me. The dude's a child molester, and you already know what the natives do here. They're gonna hit him. So all I'm telling you now is, if you get involved, we get involved. So he's like, oh, let me go talk to my bro. So they go from upstairs, they go downstairs and sell. There's a door that goes in and out to the yard. 25 is another Muslim dude living there. Then there's the door. Then 24 is an A&O cell where people, when they first come off the bus, they put them in there. There's 2 A&O cell in each block until they find a cell to go to. With that big this native, he's a big ass native. He's in that cell in 24. So me and Bryson followed them downstairs, and there's four Muslims sitting there talking about, hey man, these guys say they're gonna hit one of our bros. So me and Bryson we come up, walk up on us, say, hey, listen, homie, we're gonna let you guys know right now that this is going down, and that if you guys jump, if you guys get involved, then we're all gonna get involved. Oh, we gotta talk to Ike. Ike lives in 102. He speaks for the Muslim. So they gotta walk past the door, past that big native cell, down to 102 to go talk to Ike. So there's 4 of them, 4 Muslims. They walk. When they get halfway past the unit towards 102 and get to the door, there's 3 natives on the other side of the unit with padlocks waiting. So when the natives when the Muslims walk to Ike's cell, I signal the 3 natives that's sitting in the cut to come. So the natives run up on the dude's cell, and I open the big native Muslim dude's cell door open. I opened the cell door up for him, and the 3 natives went in there and started locking him up. Bop, 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 bop. I'm not paying attention to what's going on. My eyes is on the Muslims over there in the corner that's in that cell. So all the Muslims run out of that cell. When they run out, they see me right there in their way. And I'm standing there. I'm expecting them to come. This is one of your brothers getting beat up, getting chopped up, getting booked, whatever, getting locked up. So if he's really your brother and you're really about this, whatever it is you're about, you should be rushing me, going through me to go save him. You know what these cowards did? They just stood there. Why? Because each and every one of them that was in that block was foul too. And they weren't willing to put their life on the line for another foul motherfucker. So anyway, they stood there. They didn't come through me to go save this big ass native. But you know, the native is big. There's 3 other natives on him, locking his bitch ass up. But somehow he gets out of the cell. So when he gets out of the cell, he comes out, and this dude named, I forget his name, but he's a vice lord. But he's also Muslim too. He comes down the stair, and he's like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? And one of his homies from Peastone, Black Peastone, out of the Midwest, was trying to grab him. Hey, man, stay the fuck out of that business. That's not our business. He goes, oh, but he's Muslim. He said, stay out. Like, he was willing to go for this dude because this dude claimed himself to be a Muslim. But, you know, when you see that silverback gorilla, Bryson bouncing on his toes nobody wants a piece of that. And the Peastone homie grabbed him. They call him Bass. Grabbed him, hey, get away from there. And Bryson comes like, hey, leave it alone, bro. Leave it alone, bro. Leave it alone, bro. And the 3 natives are locking him up. Pop, 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 locking him up. He runs all around the unit and runs right to the Muslim. The 4, 5, or 6 Muslims that's standing over there in front of Ike's door. Running over there for help. You know what they all did? They all stepped to the side, backed up, and let the 3 natives punish him. They tried to tell me, oh, but he's Muslim. He's one of our brothers. My answer to that, he wasn't born Muslim. That dude's a native before he's anything. And before he can go to you, he has to deal with his past first. Us Asian and Islanders and Native Americans, we don't allow our people to go hide under another car. If you're a true believer, if all your paperwork and everything check out, but you really believe in this religion and you want to convert, you're going to be able to do it with our blessing. But you're not going to be over there hiding out thinking we're not going to get to you. Now here's the cold part. The next day, the same Muslim in my block that was all butthurt about what happened, I walked by and one of them just sitting in a chair. He's from DC, but the DCs really don't fuck with him. And again, there's probably a good reason why. He said, hey, Mesa. He said, Mesa. I said, what's up? And he reaches his hand out to shake my hand and said, hey, man, I want to thank you. I said, for what? You know, because I really don't like these dudes anyway. I was like, for what? But, you know, I'm always cordial and respectful. You know, no matter if I got beef with you, because unless I'm going to bust your head, I'm never going to call you out your name. I'm never going to disrespect you. So he's like, hey, man, Mesa, man, I appreciate you. I said, for what? Oh, the Saragoza is the SIS. He's an SIS lieutenant. He says Saragoza went and called their imam up front because of what had happened to see if there's going to be any like repercussion, you know, beef over it. And Saragoza called the imam. Like already this dude is so dumb, he don't even realize that that's not even kosher. A lieutenant, a warden, SIS, none of these people should be showing you anything on the computer about anybody, any inmate, period. Anyway, they take the imam up. He tells me to take the imam up to show him on the computer. And sure enough, the dude's a child molester on his res. So the DC/Muslim dude, and again, no disrespect to any of the homies from DC. It's all love. I'm just telling you where the dude is and who the dude is. He tells me, hey, Mesa, man, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, that dude was a child molester for real. Thank you for not letting us get in a wreck over him. But if it's not over him, there's plenty more around you in your car under your umbrella that's just as foul. So yeah, there's Muslims in the federal penitentiary that are true believers. And it's all love and it's all respect. Because a few of them are my good friend till this day that I still communicate with. But it's disappointing for me, for them, because they're my friend. I'm not disappointed in them. It's a bad situation all around as far as I'm concerned, that I got these good men having these foul-ass dudes around them. You ask anybody that come from the USP federal prison before, 20 years ago, when I first entered the system, the Muslim name was highly regarded and respected because they were thorough men that was about their religion. When there was beef, dispute amongst the black community, whether it's the Crips, whether it's the GDs, the folks, Vice Lord, whatever, and they can't settle it, they have somebody that they respected that usually was part of the Muslim car come and mediate. And however they mediate and whatever decision was made, they respected it. But it's been diluted. It's been diluted for the last 15 years. Now everybody that's going to prison, going to the USP, is already getting like a flyer. Hey, if you're foul, if you're fucked up, become a Muslim. Again, it has nothing to do with being disrespectful to religion, to the religion or any religion. It just has everything to do with these fucking buses hiding out in the penitentiary. But anybody and everybody that was in Atwater, that was in 2A with me, can tell you that what I just told you is facts. Welcome to the USP.